What if the President of the United States decided to tear down part of the most iconic building in the country, replace it with a massive 90,000 square foot ballroom worth $400 million, and did it all without asking Congress for permission? That is exactly what Donald Trump did. And now a federal judge has stepped in and told him, stop. You do not own the White House. You are just its caretaker. Today, we are breaking down the full story of Trump's White House ballroom, why a judge ruled it illegal, what the appeals court just said, and what happens next. This is a story about power, the law, history, and one very expensive party venue that may never get built. Let's go back to where this all started. In the summer of 2025, President Trump announced he wanted to build a grand ballroom at the White House. He said it would be one of the most beautiful ballrooms anywhere in the world. He described it as a gift to the American people, claiming it would be paid for entirely through private donations, not taxpayer money. The price tag? Somewhere between $300 and $400 million. Donors included billionaires, sports team owners, tech companies, and major media corporations. Even Comcast, the parent company of NBC News, was listed among those contributing funds. Now, here is where things started to get controversial. Trump had previously promised that the existing White House structure would not be touched, but in late October 2025, workers demolished the entire east wing of the White House. Gone, completely torn down. In its place, Trump wanted to build a nearly 90,000 square foot space that could hold up to 999 people, designed for state dinners, galas, and large events. The National Park Service said the project was slated for completion by mid-2028. But before the concrete could even be poured, a legal fight broke out. In December 2025, the National Trust for Historic Preservation filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration. The trust argued that Trump had proceeded with demolition and construction without following federal law. Specifically, they said Trump never got approval from Congress, never completed the required environmental reviews, and bypassed two key federal oversight panels, the National Capital Planning Commission and the Commission of Fine Arts. Both of those panels had actually been stocked with Trump allies, and both eventually approved the project. But the trust argued that approval still wasn't enough. Federal law required Congress to authorize this kind of major structural change to federal property. U.S. District Judge Richard Leon took up the case, and on March 31, 2026, he issued a ruling that stopped the project cold. Judge Leon, who was originally appointed by Republican President George W. Bush, was direct and firm in his opinion. He wrote that the President of the United States is the steward of the White House for future generations of first families, but he is not the owner. Leon reviewed the federal statutes the Trump administration used to justify the construction and concluded that not a single one of them came close to giving the president the authority he claimed to have. He ordered that ballroom construction must stop until Congress gives its formal authorization. During the actual court hearing before his ruling, Leon had been equally blunt. He called the Trump administration's argument that the ballroom was simply an allowable alteration to White House grounds a brazen interpretation of the laws of vocabulary. He reminded everyone in that courtroom that the White House is not just any national park. It is, as he put it, an iconic symbol of this nation. Trump pushed back almost immediately. He went on social media and called the ruling so wrong. He argued that previous administrations had made changes and additions to the White House without going to Congress for permission. The White House issued statements insisting that the president clearly had the legal authority to modernize, renovate, and improve the complex. Meanwhile, another issue surfaced that added a new layer of controversy. Reports emerged that the Trump administration had contracted a Luxembourg-based steel company called ArcelorMittal to supply the steel for the ballroom. This drew sharp criticism because Trump has spent his entire political career pushing America First policies and imposing tariffs on foreign steel to protect domestic manufacturers. Using foreign steel for a construction project at the most recognizable building in the United States struck many domestic steelworkers and industry groups as a direct contradiction of everything Trump claimed to stand for. What happens next and the impact? So where does this case stand right now? The Trump administration immediately appealed Judge Leon's ruling. They filed emergency motions asking the appeals court to pause the injunction, and they raised a new argument, a national security argument. Administration lawyers told the courts that the Ballroom project was not just cosmetic. They said the construction included missile-resistant steel columns, drone-proof roofing, and bulletproof, blast-proof glass. They claimed the project also included underground facilities housing top-secret military installations, medical facilities, and bomb shelters. Their argument was that halting construction would leave a massive open hole next to the executive residence and create a genuine national security risk for the president, his family, and White House staff. The National Trust fired back, pointing out that the president had been living and working in the White House without issue since the East Wing was demolished. He had hosted foreign dignitaries, held press conferences, and convened cabinet meetings, all while the construction site sat empty. The trust argued that the security crisis was self-inflicted and only became a talking point once a court told the administration to stop. On April 12, 2026, a three-judge panel from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit weighed in. The appeals court did not fully side with either party. Instead, it sent the case back to Judge Leon and asked him to clarify exactly how much of the construction could proceed on national security grounds, and how much of the ballroom work was truly inseparable from the underground security upgrades. The appeals court extended the stay on Leon's ruling through April 17th to give the Trump administration time to seek emergency intervention from the Supreme Court if they chose to do so. The Trump administration has made clear that if the appeals court does not rule in its favor, it intends to take this fight all the way to the Supreme Court. This case matters far beyond a ballroom. At its core, it is a question about presidential power and the limits of executive authority. Can a sitting president make sweeping changes to a national landmark without going through Congress? Can private funding be used to bypass the legal requirements that apply to all federal construction projects? And, perhaps most importantly, who actually owns the White House, the man sitting in the Oval Office or the American people? Judge Leon's answer was clear. The White House belongs to the nation, not to any single president. Whether the Supreme Court agrees is a question that may define the boundaries of executive power for years to come.